Hello and welcome to another week of the weekly support and clarity from Spirit for you. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've had a great week. So we're doing this from the 25th, Monday the 25th to October the 1st, Sunday. Yeah. So how I work is I call in my guides and all those in spirit who love me and ask them to give you what you need for the upcoming week. Any tips, techniques, exercises that come along with that as well. So just to let you know, I never actually plan what I'm going to say. That's why sometimes when I'm filming these things, I actually have these pauses because I'm not sure what I'm about to say next or what's actually coming through. So, so I'll just see you off, tune in, call in my guides, and we'll get on with the weekly report. Okay, so things can be really complicated. They can actually be really simple as well. And quite a lot of the time we get caught up in I hope this is the right word to say, the small bits. I couldn't pronounce that word just then. We get caught up in the small bits that are going on instead of really asking ourselves really at more of a cut down level, more of a simplistic level, what we're actually looking for, what we're actually wanting at the moment. And so it's really important just to check in with yourself along the way, and some of the things that really help you with this and to help you to be aware, because this is really the key here. If you're not aware that these things are going on, well then you can't blame yourself for them. And I can see that this does happen quite a bit, where people are like, well, why didn't I know this? Why didn't I see this? Why wasn't I aware of this? Well, sometimes your head's so full that it's actually very hard to have that awareness about what's actually going on, or what you're trying to achieve, or what you're trying to do or get or become, or whatever it is. And so it's really important to have a really nice, simple and gentle sort of, not just a self-care routine, but a time out routine that you can go into, well, most days. If you can do most days, you aim for every day. If you can do most days, you're doing pretty well, And what I mean by that is possibly doing some meditation, doing some Tai Chi, Qigong, stretching, yoga, Pilates, whatever it is. But it's about you allowing yourself to actually go within and to be able to allow yourself to create as much as you possibly can, a bit of a quiet space within you. Now, I do teach meditation, and one of the first things, and probably the biggest thing I've ever heard with people when meditation comes up, is they say, I can't slow down my mind. And that's actually not what we're trying to achieve here when you meditate, because there are actually thousands of different techniques and practices with meditation. And when you actually do start to take time and you do start to meditate, it's not so much that your head is going really fast or it speeds up when you start doing these practices. It's more that you start to be aware of how much your head is moving. Your thoughts are kind of scrambling, and there's thousands of thoughts just running through your head all the time. So it's not that increases, it's more that when you take some quiet time, you're more aware of the fact that this is always running behind the scenes. And so that's a really important reason why creating a bit of space and doing something nice and easy to create some space within your life, within your mental, emotional self, to to have that chill time. And whether you can do this for 5 minutes, whether you can do it for an hour, it actually doesn't really matter. What is really important is that you start doing it as regularly as you can. And like I said, if you can aim for every day and you do it 3 times a week, mate, you're winning. You're doing really, really well. And so it's that thing about not trying to do it for too long either. Start with a really short amount of time and then sort of build on there over a period of a few weeks or a month or two and see what happens. And actually keep note of how this is going to, work within your everyday life. Because one of the things that I do know myself and I do hear from a lot of people is they say, I'm just a little bit more calm. I've got a little bit more clarity within myself. I can focus a little bit better. I can see things more for what they actually are instead of reacting to things. You can start acting more. So really, really cool. And I just ask you to try it out. And try it out, minimum, I would say, 6 weeks, 6 weeks to 2 months. I know when I started meditating, it probably took me, a good 6 to 9 months before I really started noticing it. But if you keep it up, that's because I was only doing it once or twice a week. If you keep it up and you try to do it a couple times a week, a bit more than once or twice, you will notice the benefits more sooner than later. So, okay, on with the weekly reading. Okay, so Monday is about getting it out of your head, actually, and those revolving thoughts. And I think we talked about this last week about that stinking thinking that can go out. Sometimes when you just stop, totally acknowledge something and just really allow yourself to recognize it, to feel it, to see it, whatever that is, and just say, okay, it's here. I know it's here. I'm just going to really allow myself to be with it. And once you really allow yourself to be with it, then you can actually say to yourself, okay, I give permission for myself to let this go, to release. And you may want to call in your guides with that, because I can feel a lot of stuff around work in relation with this, and actually family as well. Excuse me. Got a bit of an itchy nose. I might have some hair tickling my nose. Okay, getting on to Tuesday. What's on Tuesday? So this is about heart space, actually, and this is about heart matters, which really goes into that stuff about Monday. So it's about how much space you're giving yourself to your heart. How much of a sort of a support system are you creating for yourself within your heart? Or are you not? Or are you not at all? Or are you doing it a little bit? So just have a look at a bit about that, because they're saying for the next week, actually the next 2 to 3 weeks, this is actually going to matter quite a bit. So that dropping of your shit, dropping of the stinking thinking, and creating support around your heart. Okay, so Wednesday, what's going on for Wednesday? Okay, so this is allowing yourself to flow with things and actually make it a little bit easier. So this is really about you looking at, what is actually working for you, not what is not working. So it's about looking at what is working and really acknowledge that and allow yourself to flow with that, and things will start to drop away, take shape, and just sort of work themselves out with that, which is getting on to Thursday, because Thursday is, this is about actually, because it feels like there's a lot of stuff coming up from the past with people as well, a lot of clearing going on, and this is what Thursday is about. It's about, instead of saying things like, oh, this always happens, or not this again, or how can this be true again, or, why me kind of thing. This is actually about you going, well, I'm actually going to give this permission to go. I'm actually going to give this permission to leave me, and leave me for good. And, if this does reveal itself again, just about saying, yep, cool, I'm happy for that to go now. I don't actually need to hang on to it. When you try to, you grizzle about it, or when you get stuck into it, or you get, in that revolving headspace, it actually sort of contains it. So it's really about you saying, okay, cool. I'm glad that this popped up, so it's allowing me to let it go. So getting on to Friday. So Friday, and they're saying actually for the next few days, this is really about expression within yourself. And it's really about allowing yourself to, make it easy and to really flow with that expression. Okay, so watch what you're saying, with this too. But it's not just watching what you're saying, but what are you attaching it to? So, all right, I'm going to give an example here. What example can we give? Okay, I'm always the last in line. This sort of thing never sort of works out for me. It's like, why didn't I, get the sort of support I needed or the help I needed? Why didn't this come together for me? And it's that thing too about when you're flipping it, actually about going, well, maybe you've already got all the tools you need and you've got all the ability you need within yourself. Maybe this came up again because it's actually showing you that it's coming up to the end of this cycle, and it's about you really releasing this and letting it go. So watching that expression, but also watching where you're attaching it to and how you're creating the narrative in relation to the actual situation and how that's occurring in your life. So I think that's about it for the weekly reading. So I want to thank you very much for joining me this week. I hope that's given you some fabulous information for the upcoming week and after that as well. And remember, be kind to yourself. Like, subscribe and comment. And if you want a session with me, all the links are below. Give me a hoy. I'm more than happy to have a chat with you. And be really kind to yourself. Remember, you're important, you're special, and the more you acknowledge that, the more things work out for you. Okay, lots of love.